Good morning friends, this is Raju from Varangal. Have composed this video for one who is preparing for MA English entrance test. It is going to be conducted by Osmania University in the name of CPG ET. With this video, you definitely come to know how to prepare and what to prepare for MA English entrance examination. So I request you to watch complete video and please share with your friends who are preparing for this examination. Your subscription encourages me to compose more interesting and informative videos on English grammar and literature. Let us discuss the syllabus of MA English entrance test. The paper will be prepared for 100 marks and 100 questions will be given, which are completely in the form of multiple choice. The paper will be divided into two parts. Part A covers 40 questions which are completely on language elements and it covers 40 marks. Okay, and you can see there are subtopics have been given. The first one you can see spelling and punctuation. If you look at the spelling, where 4 words will be given and you need to identify one word with correct spelling. And even you can see in punctuation, there 4 sentences will be given. You will be asked to identify one sentence which is correct punctuation. And second topic, vocabulary, where different forms we have. So antonyms and synonyms, one word substitutes, words often confused, and idiomatic expressions. Based on all these sub-word categorizations, you will be asked questions. A word will be given and for that 4 other words will be given to ask what is opposite to that particular word given, even or same meaning of another word for synonyms. And one word substitutes means a word will be asked and you need to identify the meaning of that particular word, or they may give you meaning and you need to identify a single word for that. Even they may ask you idiomatic expressions. In the question they ask one idiomatic expression and you need to identify its meaning in other given multiple choices. And if you come to the point of third point, grammar, where tenses and prepositions, concord and auxiliary verbs, active voice and passive voice have been asked. So where the questions will be asked based on tenses. So 4 sentences will be given and you need to identify correct sentence. And active voice, passive voice also same. Prepositions, they may give you fill in the blanks like that. But multiple choices will be given. You need to identify suitable preposition for a given sentence or given question it is. And if you come to the point of correction of sentences, there you need to identify correct error-free sentence and error sentences. They have given already. Identify the error or identify the correct sentence. So 4 sentences will be given, and after 4 you need to identify one sentence which is have correct structure and meaning. And the last topic you can see exercises in jumbled words to be arranged in the right order to form a sentence. So where 5 to 6 words will be given in this order and you need to make them in order and find the correct sentence. So that will be given in multiple choices. The proper sentence will be given, and which is the word order helps you to make complete sentence. That is the correct sentence. So that is you need to do this, and like this all 40 questions will be covered. You need to carefully study and identify the answers within the question paper itself. Okay, now let us come to the point of part B, where already told you 60 questions will be covered on English literature, and they have given some subtopics. You can see history of English literature, literary terms, literary forms, literary movements, books and authors, and comprehension of poetry and prose. So you became You can see how the history of English literature is divided on the screen. But the question is how the questions will be asked on history of English literature in the entrance examination. So that we need to understand, right? So you can see basically the basic classifications of period. In particularly, there are particular terms you can see: the Anglo-Saxon period, the Renaissance, the age of Elizabeth, or you can call it as Elizabethan period, or the Puritan age, the Augustan age, or the Restoration period, you can call it as, and the Romanticism, the Victorian period, the modern age, and contemporary literature. These are the basic terminology. You can divide the history of English literature. Now we need to understand how the questions will be framed. So the questions may be framed on the period of years, which is given in the first, the Old English period, 1066 to 1400. And that way you can see, for example, the Puritan age 1603 to 1660, the Augustan age 1660 to 1800, the Romanticism starts from 1800. So like this, the periods may be asked. And another way you can also see, each period have some additional names. For example, if you see the age of Shakespeare is there. So which period can be called as the age of Shakespeare? So 4 options will be given. The Renaissance period, the Augustan age, the Puritan age, or the Elizabethan age. So there you can find the answer, the Elizabethan age it is. Okay. Even this way also they may ask you questions. And they may ask you questions like, for example, which period is called the age of Wordsworth? And is years also. So, or they may be called, here one person name is used for the age. So for that, so that they may ask you reasons. So why do a particular period is called the age of Wordsworth, and the age of Pope, the age of Johnson, the age of Dryden? So we need to understand all those things very clearly. So it is because those people are very famous, very famous. They showed extraordinary skills in writing poems of that particular period. So that's why their name is used for a particular period to identify. So their works are very dominant. So for that reason, so their works are so very important. So they may ask you the text's names and author name, and ask you which period this work and author belongs to. So this way you can guess the questions. Okay. The another subtopic, literary terms. Here I have given very important literary terms, especially for this examination. If you study all this enough, I think, but some more word terms I will refer in further videos. But these are the very, very basic informations you need to prepare. So I have given a list of figures of speeches. So these can be called literary terms you can find. So there are terms like simile, metaphor, personification, and apostrophe. These are the figures of speeches, which shows the quality of similarities in comparison. And you can also see the other terms which are based on contrast: antithesis, epigram, paradox, oxymoron, irony, euphemism, and litotes. Even the words based on construction of words: interrogation, exclamation, climax, anticlimax, hyperbole, transferred epithet, and tautology. Based on association and substitution, metonymy and selector. Based on sound, pun, alliteration, and onomatopoeia. So these are the basic figures of speeches, and the questions will be asked based on these terms in the form of asking their definition or meaning, or they may give you one example. For example, you can see she is like a moon. So there now in this exam they'll ask you which figures of speech used in this sentence. So they will give you options like metaphor, simile, antithesis, hyperbole. So 4 options will be given, and after that you need to find one word is answered, that is simile. So how can, so for this I will make some more videos to explain the characteristics and definitions and usage of these figures of speeches for that. So I hope you would enjoy them and learn them, and you can able to remember and attempt your examination. Even there are stanza forms also we have. So the stanza forms are used in the poems. Okay, so you can see here monostic, quatrain, quatrain. So monostic means here which consists only of single line, and quatrain means 4 lines, and quatrain means 5 lines, and couplet means 2 lines, tercet means 3 lines, sestet means 6 lines, septet means 7 lines, octava means 8 lines, like this. So their definitions they will ask you, and there are other important stanza forms like the heroic couplet, the terza rhyme, the Chaucerian stanza, or it can be called rhyme royal, Ottawa rhyme, Spenserian stanza, Shakespearean stanza. These are very, very important. Their characteristics and elements you need to identify and understand and remember for your examination. And the questions will be framed on their characteristics itself and usages. And the other important point you can also remember, prosody, and which is you can see in the form of meter, caesura, bathos, parody, consonants, assonance. There are many other terms like alliteration, assonance, like that. So these are the measurements of words and syllables, you can see. This is also a poetic technique. And there are other narrative techniques like allegory and ambiguity, parable. There are many other terms we have. I will discuss in detail in separate videos. And other form, style, Bildungsroman and stream of consciousness. These are the particular genres which have developed in further developing periods, and their characteristics and elements and founders and authors and important authors and fathers of the particular genres we need to discuss. And they may ask it. They are very, very important things we need to. Let us see literary forms. Basically, we have 3 forms. They are poetry, prose, and drama. Again, we have classifications of poetry, prose, and drama. It is very, very important to know the characteristics of types of poetry, and number of questions may be asked on these particular literary terms and literary forms, which is very, very basic information for an English or literature student. So, on this particular terms, or you can call types of literary forms, I will prepare some more videos with their elements and how the questions will be asked on that particular thing. So if you look at poetry, lyric, sonnet, ode, elegy, epic, ballad, and satire we have. And when it comes to the point of prose, novel, essay, short story, biography, autobiography, drama, tragedy, comedy, tragicomedy, one-act play, masque, absurd drama, farce, melodrama, miracle play, mystery play, dramatic monologue. There are many other forms also we have, but we need to know the basic information about it first of all. And so for that, I will prepare separate videos with detailed information on that. Okay. The questions may be asked you on these literary forms: who used first, and who is the eminent poet or writer. All those things will be asked on this particular thing, and even the characteristics and definitions and meanings also may be asked. So if you look at another subtitle, we have literary movements. So there are n number of literary movements we have. such as aesthetic movement, Cavalier poets, metaphysical poets, the Augustines, the Romanticism, Gothic novel, Lake poets. Like that, we have many other literary movements we have. And movements mean here a group of poets or writers will gather and they start with a new ideology. So that will be a movement. Or there are some other based reasons to form a new movement it is. So every movement had its own reason and theory. So we need to identify them and we need to remember them, and who are the particular group of writers belong to particular movement, and based on that only the questions will be asked. For example, who are the late poets? You can see they may ask you, they may give you names, any one of name, and the other three are wrong. So Wordsworth is a late poet, like that. So you can see Cavalier poets, the Augustan age. There are many other movements we have. I will discuss all these movements in separately with the different videos. So hope you will watch it for more information. And the other important thing, books and author. So this is very important. You need to remember. It will. So based on this particular information, I will prepare some more videos with a lot of books and authors and informations, and it will help you a lot. And comprehension, and a poem will be given, and based on that poem you will be asked 5 questions, and you need to read the poem very critically and understand and answer the questions. And a passage will be given, and you need to study that passage very carefully and answer the questions. So this way you can see what to prepare and what not to prepare, and you try to prepare off your own notes, or you can follow my videos on this particular syllabus. Hope you will enjoy, and it will be useful for you. Thank you for watching my videos, and please support my channel.